Let's be honest, most men think attraction is loud. They look for obvious signs, dramatic gestures, fireworks. But the truth that quietly changes everything is this. The deepest permission a woman gives is almost invisible. It happens in a moment so subtle you can miss it if you're not paying attention. And once you understand it, you stop chasing signals and start recognizing trust. I want you to imagine a space around every woman you meet. Not a physical barrier, but an emotional boundary. Inside that space lives her comfort, her safety, her sense of control. Most people never get close to it. Some hover at the edge, performing, impressing, trying to earn approval. But very few are invited inside without effort. And when a woman lets you cross that invisible line naturally, without tension, without hesitation, something profound has already shifted. You see, attraction for women is not primarily visual. It's emotional regulation. It's how your presence changes her nervous system. Does she feel guarded or does she soften? Does she monitor herself or does she relax? This is where most men misunderstand everything. They focus on what they want to do instead of noticing what she no longer resists. There is one specific place where this shift becomes undeniable. It's not about desire in the way you think. It's about vulnerability. When a woman allows you into this space, she is not reacting, she is choosing. And choice is the real language of attachment. Watch her behavior when she's with you, not the words, not the flirting, the micro moments. Does she lean closer without realizing it? Does her posture open instead of tighten? Does she allow proximity without recalculating distance? These are not accidents. They are signals from a mind that has decided you are not a threat. Men often ask why chemistry feels different with certain women. It's because chemistry isn't sparks, it's permission. And permission is never announced. It's revealed through comfort with closeness. A woman who feels emotionally safe does something rare. She stops performing. She stops editing herself. And most importantly, she stops protecting certain parts of her personal space. Not because she is weak, because she is secure. Understand this clearly. Women are experts at controlling access. They manage attention, time, emotion, and distance constantly. So when that management fades around you, when she allows natural contact within her personal space without tension, she is communicating trust more loudly than words ever could. This is why some men are confused when everything feels right, but they never notice the moment it changed. The shift isn't dramatic. It's quiet. It's her body saying what her voice hasn't said yet. I am comfortable here. And comfort is the foundation of attachment. Not excitement, not charm, not performance. Comfort. When a woman relaxes the protective boundary around her personal space and allows natural, unguarded closeness, she is revealing something deeper than attraction. She is revealing emotional acceptance. And emotional acceptance is where real connection begins. Most men try to create desire. Very few recognize when they have already been trusted. The difference between chasing and attracting is awareness. And if you miss this signal, you keep trying to prove yourself, even when you no longer need to. Most men think touch is something they initiate. But what they don't realize is that meaningful touch is something a woman permits long before it happens. The moment she allows contact within her personal space without resistance, she has already decided how she feels about you. Not logically, emotionally. And emotion always decides first. Watch carefully how she responds to proximity, not forced closeness, not planned gestures, natural moments. When you're walking side by side, does she maintain distance, or does she drift closer without awareness? When you stand near her, does her body angle away, or does she remain open? These are not random movements. They are reflections of internal comfort. There is one specific place that reveals everything. Her hands. A woman's hands are extensions of her awareness. They protect. They communicate. They regulate emotion. When a woman allows you to hold her hand naturally, without hesitation, without stiffness, without pulling away after a second, she is allowing emotional access. Hand contact is not dramatic, but psychologically it is profound. It requires trust. It requires relaxation. It requires a decision that your presence is safe enough to accept connection. Think about how rarely adults touch hands casually without intention. It is not like a pat on the shoulder. It is not like a quick greeting. Hand contact is sustained awareness. It keeps two nervous systems linked in real time. That's why it feels intimate even when nothing else is happening. When she lets your hand remain in hers without tension, she is not evaluating you anymore. Evaluation creates distance. Trust allows closeness. And closeness without tension is the clearest signal a woman can give without saying anything. But here is the deeper truth most men never understand. It's not the touch itself that matters. It's the absence of resistance. When a woman is uncertain, her body subtly withdraws. When she is uncomfortable, she reclaims space. When she is guarded, her muscles tighten. But when she feels emotionally safe, she does nothing. And that nothing is everything. She doesn't think about moving away. She doesn't calculate time. She doesn't manage the moment. She simply allows connection to exist. This is why chasing dramatic signs of attraction leads men astray. The real signal is calmness. The real signal is ease. The real signal is how natural closeness feels in silence. Understand this like a mentor would teach you. Attraction excites, but trust relaxes. And relaxation is always the stronger bond. If she allows hand contact comfortably, she is showing emotional openness. She is not reacting to pressure. She is participating willingly. And willingness is the foundation of attachment that lasts beyond momentary desire. Many men sabotage this moment by overanalyzing or escalating too quickly. They treat permission like a challenge instead of a gift. But a woman who feels safe enough to allow natural hand contact is not asking to be impressed. She is revealing that she already feels connected. Your role is not to take more. Your role is to recognize what has already been given. Because when a woman relaxes her awareness and lets your presence exist within her personal space without resistance, she is no longer deciding whether to let you in. She already has. What most men never realize is that trust doesn't grow from intensity. It grows from emotional steadiness. A woman watches how you exist in calm moments, not how you perform in exciting ones. And when she allows her hand to remain in yours without tension, she is not responding to pressure. She is responding to presence. There is a silent conversation that happens through contact. No words, no promises, no declarations. Just nervous systems communicating safety. If she feels even a hint of uncertainty, her body reclaims distance automatically. It's not strategy, it's instinct. So when distance doesn't return, when her hand remains relaxed, when there is no subtle withdrawal, understand what you are witnessing. Her mind has stopped scanning for risk. This is where many men misunderstand control. They think control is about leading, directing, influencing. But emotional leadership is simpler and more difficult at the same time. It is consistency, predictability, calm energy that doesn't demand, doesn't rush, doesn't pull. A woman does not open to force. She opens to stability. Watch the details that most overlook. Is her grip neutral and relaxed? Not tight, not rigid? Does she maintain contact even when conversation shifts or silence appears? Does she continue the moment naturally instead of resetting distance? These are signals of emotional ease. And ease is never accidental. Attraction can create excitement. Excitement creates movement. But trust creates stillness. Stillness is where attachment forms. You must understand the psychology beneath this. Human beings protect what they value emotionally. We guard what feels uncertain. We control what feels unstable. But we relax where we feel secure. Relaxation is the body's way of saying, nothing here threatens me. When a woman allows prolonged hand contact without tension, she is not just comfortable with you physically. She is comfortable with your presence influencing her emotional state. That is a level of acceptance most men try to earn through words. But acceptance is never negotiated. It is felt. And here is the deeper layer few men grasp. Women are highly attuned to emotional incongruence. If your behavior seeks approval, she senses it. If your energy demands reassurance, she feels it. If your actions attempt to secure something, her guard quietly returns. But when your presence is grounded, self-contained, and unneedy, her comfort deepens. This is why some men are trusted quickly, while others remain at a distance despite effort. It is not about charm. It is not about lines. It is emotional stability expressed through behavior that does not pressure outcomes. A woman who feels emotionally safe does not feel managed. she feels free, and freedom creates attachment stronger than persuasion ever could. So when she allows closeness to continue naturally, when there is no subtle resistance, when your presence feels normal rather than negotiated, you are not building connection in that moment. You are witnessing the result of connection already formed. This is the truth most men spend years trying to understand. Attraction invites attention, trust invites presence, and presence is what transforms interest into attachment. If you recognize this shift, you stop chasing signs. You start recognizing acceptance, and acceptance, once given, is rarely loud. It is quiet, steady, unforced. Very few men understand the difference between being wanted and being trusted. Women can flirt, tease, even act interested without ever truly letting someone in. But when she allows you physical access without tension, especially in those subtle, intimate ways, she's already made a choice. Not consciously, not verbally, but emotionally. She's decided you are safe, and safe is the currency of connection. Think about it. A woman's body is constantly scanning for threats. Her nervous system never rests when she is unsure. She measures proximity, tone, energy, and intention in every moment. That micro-judgment is happening even in casual touch, even in fleeting hand contact. When she relaxes, when she allows her hand to remain in yours, she's saying something far more powerful than words. I accept you here. This is not permission you earn with lines or gestures. It's permission that emerges when you align with her emotional rhythm. When you stop trying to impress and start simply being present. Men often rush to escalate touch because they mistake desire for permission. That's why so many fail. They push before the moment is ready. But a woman who maintains contact naturally is telling you the moment is ready. She has already chosen to let you in. Notice the subtleties. Does her hand linger when you pause? Does she let her body angle toward yours instead of away? Does she maintain a relaxed tone and movement rather than tensing or stiffening? These signals are not obvious. They are quiet, psychological, almost invisible, yet they reveal far more than a kiss, a compliment, or even a confession ever could. And here's the psychological truth most men never hear. Women do not give access lightly. Emotional and physical access are intertwined. Hand contact, subtle touches, leaning closer, these are not casual. They are extensions of trust. By allowing this, she is effectively saying, I feel secure enough with you to stop guarding myself. And security, once established, multiplies every other form of connection. Most men react impulsively to this signal. They escalate, they push, they overthink. That is exactly the mistake that breaks what could have been genuine attachment. A woman's comfort is not a green light for conquest. It is a moment to witness, to acknowledge, to mirror calmly. The deeper your awareness, the stronger the bond you cultivate, without words, without force, without pressure. So understand this clearly. Permission is silent. Desire is loud. And most men confuse the two. She can flirt, tease, and entertain without ever allowing closeness. But when her body lets you in, when contact exists without resistance, she is already invested in the interaction at a level that mere attraction cannot buy. The men who recognize this do not chase, they do not perform. They see the subtle permission, honor it, and their presence alone strengthens attachment. They understand that what a woman allows naturally is far more valuable than what she might say to please or protect herself. And once you see this, everything changes. You stop interpreting attraction as approval. You start reading trust. And trust is where true influence, connection, and intimacy begin. You are not creating access. You are noticing what has already been granted. The hand is just the beginning. It's the quiet signal, the first door opening. But the deeper truth lies in how she responds when you respect that access. Women are experts at sensing pressure. Their bodies, even when smiling, detect the slightest attempt to force closeness, and instantly barriers rise. But when you move with awareness, when you honor her comfort while maintaining calm presence, something remarkable happens. She begins to mirror your energy. Notice her micro-behaviors. Does she adjust her posture to stay aligned with yours? Does she maintain eye contact that lingers slightly longer than necessary? Does she allow touches that are small, almost incidental, without retreating? Each of these moments is a psychological confirmation. She is not just present physically. She is emotionally letting you in. And make no mistake, emotional access is far more powerful than sexual or visual attraction. Most men focus on escalation. They want to leap from interest to intimacy, thinking that confidence is measured in audacity. But real confidence is measured in restraint, in the ability to allow a woman to grant access at her own pace, without manipulation, without insistence, when she keeps her hand in yours, when she leans subtly into your presence, when she laughs and relaxes in proximity. These are all layers of permission being granted, silently, consistently, and profoundly. This is why subtle touch is a psychological turning point. A hand in yours, a brush of her arm, a shoulder that stays close for just a moment longer. These are not casual interactions. They are the mind's way of communicating. I trust you. I feel safe with you. I am letting you matter to me without having to say it. Men who fail to see this often misread her interest as playful or fleeting. In reality, she is providing the strongest signal a woman can: comfort without condition. And here's the part most men never internalize. Women rarely grant this level of comfort to someone who has not already earned emotional alignment. She doesn't give trust lightly. She doesn't leave herself vulnerable without reason. So if she allows closeness naturally, without hesitation, she is already invested in the interaction at a depth that words cannot convey. The physical signal is simply the manifestation of psychological choice. You must resist the urge to overinterpret. Don't assume a fleeting handhold or a casual touch is permission to push further. Instead, recognize it as a confirmation of connection. Mirror her energy. Respect her pace. Allow comfort to deepen organically. This is how attachment grows. This is how attraction becomes lasting. Men who understand this become magnetic, not because of lines or charm, but because they recognize and honor the subtle signals women give, the ones that most men never notice. They know that the moment a woman allows contact without tension, she has already decided. You belong in her emotional space, and once you internalize this, everything changes. You stop chasing, stop performing, and start seeing what most men never see: the quiet, powerful, undeniable signs that a woman has already made her choice. Because at this point, it's not about what you want. It's about what she's already given, and most men never realize it until it's too late. Most men never notice the moments that truly matter. They're focused on flashy signs, on big gestures, on trying to impress. But the real shift, the moment she decides you belong, is quiet. It lives in small, unguarded gestures: a hand that stays in yours, a shoulder that relaxes, a subtle lean toward you without thought or calculation. These are the signals of trust, and trust is far more valuable than desire. Understand this: women constantly manage their personal space, their emotional boundaries, and their comfort levels. Every glance, every movement, every micro-adjustment is a form of control, consciously or unconsciously. And when she stops controlling it around you, when she allows natural contact without tension, is showing you something most men spend a lifetime trying to earn. She is showing you she feels safe, accepted, and connected. And make no mistake, safety is far more seductive than any line or display of confidence. The difference between men who are noticed and men who are trusted is simple. One chases signs, the other recognizes signals. One pushes, the other mirrors. One seeks validation, the other honors permission. If a woman lets you touch this specific part of her body, her hand, her wrist, her arm, in natural, comfortable ways without thinking or withdrawing, she is already giving you the most important approval: emotional access. She's already decided you belong. But here's the crucial part most men miss. This is not about sexual conquest. It's about presence, calmness, and awareness. She is testing nothing. She is performing no games. She is simply revealing the part of herself that feels safe enough to exist without protection. And if you rush it, misread it, or treat it as permission to escalate aggressively, you destroy what she's offering naturally. Your role is simple, but profound. Notice, honor, and mirror. Don't chase more than what's already given. Don't escalate tension. Don't create pressure. Be present in the calm, subtle signals. She's already chosen you in that moment, whether you realize it or not. The power lies in recognition, not action. And here's a truth you should carry with you. Most men never get this. Most men see flirting, teasing, and attention and think they've arrived. But real connection lives in the unguarded moments, the micro-access, the hand she lets stay in yours, the small gestures she doesn't retract. That's where she's already yours. That's where the deepest attachment begins. So now I want you to test yourself. Think about the last woman you felt this way with. Was there a moment of unguarded permission, a subtle signal you might have missed? Take a moment and reflect, then write your answer in the comments. How did she show you she was already comfortable with you? And don't forget, like this video if you found this insight powerful. Subscribe for more truths about female psychology that most men will never hear. And share this with a friend who needs to understand this subtle, unstoppable dynamic. Now go think carefully. If trust equals comfort, and comfort equals access, how much access have you truly noticed today? Drop your answer in the comments.